So when dealing with balance and counterbalance, just like I was talking about crossing midline with Arlie. So I can look at someone right down the middle and just go, you know, and just feel how she twists. Now she is 26, 27?
26.
26.
Shut up.
She's pregnant.
Yeah.
So crossing midline on someone, usually people think of just the chest cavity. However, like I said, if you look at the feet as if the feet were on a plane like this, and this is the only time I look at lines on bodies. I don't believe in lines. There's a lot of methods that go into planes. I'm looking at the structure or the foundation. So when I bring someone, like say, over the right foot, now she'd probably be pretty good with this because I work on her a lot. What you'll see with a lot of people where they can't go over a certain foot. So here, see, I can't really cross your midline on the foot. You feel that? So you feel on this foot how I can go over on the right.
Yeah.
Your shoulders can come over and adjust. Even if I were to take you too far, I'm not going to put you to falling. But to the left, it's already starting to adjust. There we go. But the first time, your body wasn't too sure of that. And then the other way I look at that is if I bring you forward a little bit. Now this, again, because you're growing quite quickly, and see how much more, shoulder almost totally spasmed, just bringing you back. Did you see that? So I don't normally, when I'm working with someone, I like to make sure the vestibular is okay. But since she's with baby, what I'm going to do is totally take the belly as well as her back. So just gently, what I'm dealing with is adjusting her volume to her body. So by holding the belly, I'm actually bringing the belly and towards me. But when I do this, you feel see how your chest locks up there?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So when I'm doing this, now see, if I did it this way, feel the difference of the chest? It doesn't lock up the way it does. So what I'm looking for is the way the whole system's turning. But when I'm doing that with her, I'm moving my body around and twisting it too. So this is very, very similar to dancing. But by having my fingers on her upper back, sort of like lower rib cages, I can feel when the ribs just don't want to move that much. So I'm just going to slowly look for where I can guide her. I do it with a lot of open heart surgeries, but I see one guy all the time, before and after, every 2 weeks. John, he's in like tons of my videos. And when they crack the chest, there it is. Feel it right up in here? So basically under and between the scapula, so I'm just doing my little work. When you have surgeries or traumas, this balance gets really affected. First of all, you're protecting the site, the wound. But second of all, what also gets affected, and this is why I'm working on Claudia, is the sense of gravity is changing on the body. So right after she has the baby, that's why you see a lot of parents, or moms, I shouldn't say parents, men don't go through this, holding the womb site. Not that the child's missing, that's much better. But what they're doing is their sense of gravity is so out of proportion, and they've also just been injured because they just gave birth to a child. But what a lot of people have problems with is they don't know when the injury is over because they don't play with their system like this. So I'm going to just go back and see if that made a difference. now notice the difference here, turning, and to this.
Yeah.
So see how she doesn't know her access point at this moment? See how much, it's much more, she's like, almost like a revolving door. And here, she's there. You know, most people wouldn't think that much of it, but she can be better. Now here, this is interesting. I see this all the time with the nose. Feel how the belly can lead. Do you feel that? I call that, remember when I work with the face, how I talked about that wag, same with the foot? Feel how the belly doesn't want to come over midline. You feel it? Again, don't get me wrong. I can bring it this way, but right here, the way I'm touching, this is now a force. Now, in your condition, the head could be there. He hasn't kicked me yet, but so I don't know where he is. But in this stage, to me, they were always sleeping. Mine only woke up when I was trying to go to sleep. It's like, really?
If she kept on at night.
Oh, they said because when you're walking or when you're rocking them, so
Yeah.
they,
Adam put headphones on my belly one night and played background. And
No wonder she came out with issues.
she was up all night. And I was like, and I didn't get any sleep. And the ultrasound tech was like, oh, that was mean to do to your wife. He said, I was just trying to find something that had a good beat. And I was like, yeah, let's not do that twice. You can blame the background music. It's you. Daddy was
What I'm
rocking
doing
me.
is the pelvis right here. And the angle. There we go. That's much good. So now, does that feel better?
yeah.
So what I'm gonna work on here a little bit too, because you pick up other kids. I'm getting you here by the shoulder, by the belly, and I'm just showing you how to push your gravity over, but very gently. Believe it or not too, this is the beginning of going into a karate stance that most kids don't have problems with, that front stance. What I'm working on with the balance today is most people think of this. So my butt counters and I go to grab for something. But to actually reach for something, that's a higher organization, and this is one of the first things to go as you get older. I have to either step out or this, but I can't, and I really saw this working when Bliss came here, since she's totally blind and she's 11. She was like, she had no reach whatsoever. And that's why karate was so good for her, because this act and this, so if I'm doing a good front stance, but going into, and I'm actually into my body, but that's you taking out groceries out of the car. You know what I mean? That's that action, but a lot of people start, and because you're not used to the proportions of your stomach, but you should protect them anyway, but that's what I'm playing with. That makes sense. But can you imagine, let's say, if she just had face trauma or surgery, how much this would be affected? Because this kind of flow of gravity puts pain usually. So what people happen to do is they stop doing it because it causes pain, but they don't realize when they're out of pain. So like if she just had open heart surgery, this is not the move they want you to do. That's why you hug a heart, that pillow, because they don't want the chest to come back open, but it's very difficult to get down onto the bed and all of that, and people think because it's like a stretch, but what it is you go to put gravity on this, and we shift through our bodies, our lungs shift, my heart comes forward, all of this. That's why I talk about the babies. When I roll them over for the first time or they've rolled over, they're like, what the heck is that? They've never breathed in that position, they've never seen in that position, so for some kids, if they don't have a good relationship with gravity, they just freak. Heads down and I can't. So I want that same freedom to be there for Claudia, even though she's pregnant. So what I'm doing is actually dipping the belly just down just a little bit. Excuse me, for the belly. And again, this is very subtle stuff, but let me tell you, kids with CP or like Erin they don't have this subtlety. You know what I mean? Now I'm just going to do this over here with hardly any help. So now feel the difference.
Yeah.
And now feel the difference. See how the stomach's sort of leading? Or feel it? Feel the difference here. Are you comfortable standing? So now see here on this side how the belly has trouble finding the floor.
Yeah.
With your belly. So over here, it feels like this.
Yeah.
See how your stomach's going over onto the foot. And this is just as important to you, like when you're carrying Arlie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a large purse, or a suitcase, or a... So here, it's right through in here, so... But also, notice too, this is a first step. There we go, now I can do a circle. So now with that, so see how your stomach can go out?
Yeah.
But that is a first step, do you see that? How she presents, so now walk and see what that feels like. Does that make sense
Right.
though, how,
Yeah.
now tighten your hands and walk. Feel the difference?
Yeah.
That's more like how you've been walking.
Yeah. 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 A little bit.
She's eating.
She was distracted for a while. She was like, I want to watch what's going on.
When she's done eating, if you want holding her, I'll do the
Okay.
same with you just to show.
Oh.
Okay.
That's a good.
What?
That's a good idea. So if I wanna do some, can I do myself? Like it's move slow. Or how?
Absolutely, if you're worried at all. So you can be like this or like this. I just say use a door jamb, because then you, whoops, that was a good spit up, projectile. You don't, even though your balance is good, you don't want to compromise the balance, because when you compromise the balance, your body's going to be like, don't fall down, don't fall down. Even again, if it's at a subconscious level. So it's going to want to protect yourself. That's why my lessons are completely different when I'm totally around you versus just standing behind. And that's why I keep trying to prove my point. When you protect that vestibular, even in just such a subtle way, the lesson can be here versus here. But if you're just like this, giving a person a lesson,
Yeah.
you might as well be giving them a massage. But if you're like here giving them a lesson, and see again, I'm already totally into it, the same that same movement patterns, you know,
Yes.
then they fit. So to be here with the door jamb, even if you don't touch it, or like chairs next to you or something, and yeah, the same thing. You're just going to, now most people turn like this, right? But you want to think center of gravity down like this, and the rotation. Now, we have a sit bone like this. Yours is getting like this. But just think if rotating here through that, and you can think of it, you can actually hold your belly and just feel, because that's how I like to turn, a head, a foot. with the volume. I mean, I get it that I'm quote fat, but I still want to turn, now I can feel the strain on my knee turning this way versus here, because I have messed up knees anyway, but, and I have shoes on, so I mean, but yeah, you can easily just feel what it's like, and if you want to go a little bit forward, just feel what it's like, but just hold the jam. You saw me doing this with Brianna. This is how, remember when I was working with the kicks? Same thing, I was doing this to this, I was transferring her balance and her weight. So when she goes to do a kick, so instead of like this, like kids swipe, she's really just spitting up a storm. Like this versus being able to start thrusting, that movement here, back and forth. I never do good karate, I don't do good karate anyway, but with my shoes on. Because again, my balance, my kicks are all used to, this is the eyeglass argument. I'm used to doing karate with no shoes or socks. So to actually bring up my sneaker and stuff, it's just a different balance. My foot's a different balance on the sneaker foot, as well as the extra weight of lifting up the sneaker. Now, technically, if I wanted to get better at karate, I should do it with both. Sneakers on, sneakers, because I have more options. So therefore, if I, let's say, get attacked, I'm not going to go, well, I can't fight you, I have my sneakers on. You know
Hold
what I
on a
mean?
minute, let me get my shoes off.
But I mean, but that's how people's brains work. You get so used to, and you see that with like neurotic people where this is my good luck, you know, I have to use this piano, you know, they start, well, all of a sudden if you're in Grand Central and this is what they give you, you should be, now me, I mean, I was really afraid of getting a new table because so much stuff has happened on the pink table and I'm like, I really need a new table, but I like my old. So, but now that I've got this, it's like, woohoo. And I can work on my portable. I don't like my portable table because my tables are all set for my knee heights. My portable table's a little bit higher, so again, I mentally have to adjust. And then, but I'm the type of person, you could be in a restaurant, bus station, whatever, give me your hand, I feel on people all the time. I don't need a setting. I'm using me as an example, but again, you see people that need, I can only paint while I'm in this condition. That's great, and people go, I can't force it, I can't. But the people that supersede and become more, quote, well-known, really can do their craft anywhere. And that's what I like about kids with doing karate, because my kids walked in here right now and I'd say do form number 7, they would do form number 7. It's just so rote for them that they would just, Mom, really? And then they would just go into it. So, and same thing with scouts and all this, that they get conditioned to that public speaking, all of that is just not a factor. And they're only 11 and 13. But, you know, Gordon's going to be a black belt, hopefully on Saturday. He tests, and he just became a Life Scout. He's one way from Eagle Scout. He's 13 years old. So I don't push him, but again, it's just that routine and doing it. So again, holding a baby. Men don't appreciate this as much as moms, but I'm sorry, I'm going to pick on them, but they don't do the amount of work that women do. Only in rare cases. So I probably should do it before baby and after baby, but what the heck. So notice here, I cannot put you over to your left foot. Feel the difference? Mm-hmm. Going to the right. Even that's not substantial. To the left. Okay, now you're compensating with me because I told you, but. And then this is forward. And backwards. See the spasms, the shaking?
Mm-hmm.
Feel them?
So it makes my head hurt.
What?
It makes my head hurt before. Should it?
But this is what I'm talking about. After trauma, now you had a baby 5 months ago, so you quote should be over it. But when you've had any kind of surgery, our bodies are not meant to be cut into. I totally get it that you need your appendix out because you don't want to die. But just cutting into the skin tonus really affects the central nervous system. Because it's like, what the heck just happened to me? We're not meant to be cut as far as the way our bodies want to operate. So, Now, you're naturally just rocking her anyway, because that's what you're used to. So I'm just gonna, see, like, I hear her talking, you're coming down to both, oh. Do you feel that by putting my hand on your hand that it changes your body's proportions? And that's a big difference. She is a part of you, literally and figuratively. I'm looking at toys. So now just that, and notice too the rotation on the foot. So I'm going to come right over here and see, feel the difference? Does that make sense? Feel the difference? Feel the difference? So I just slow it down. See, there you can feel it more in the head and the neck.
Yeah.
So I just move my hand up and work on that. What? Ah, right there. Feel the ankle strain over the, and this, and feel the difference of the ankle here versus if I touch here. Is this not a fun enough game for you? There we go. Feel how more even that is?
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna come here.
What are you doing?
Well, usually when she touches me, it's more eventful than this. And you've fallen with her before.
Yeah.
So there could also be just a residual of when you hold her that, like, don't fall. But you're not as, I shouldn't say clumsy, but since you've been getting lessons, right, you're much better with your
Yes.
balance?
Yeah, I put her hand depends on it too. I used to be nervous I was gonna walk her head right into a door jam.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't,
'Cause I thought-
you shouldn't be holding your baby thinking that, you know what I mean?
Because I thought if I walk myself into door jams all the time, what's gonna happen when I'm holding her?
But I mean, we laugh about it, but like, that's serious stuff.
I know.
You don't want to grow old, you know, worrying about those things. Is that, there we go. See how you're coming over the foot with it? Versus your back touch doing all this strength.
Yeah.
So now feel, is that better? Coming back?
Yeah.
So. There you go. So now walk and feel that. More comfortable, but also do you feel how that's coming over to your
lead's
foot?
different.
Yeah, the lead, yeah.
Mhm.